welcome to Sue's Cooking, the Reluctant Chef. Today we are going to be using our new cast iron skillet. So Pampered Chef came out with a nice cast iron that is already pre-seasoned so that you can start cooking with it right away. If you've never cooked with cast iron, it's a great product to use on your outdoor gas or charcoal grill. You can use it in the oven, under a broiler, on your stove, whether it's glass or whether it's electric or gas, doesn't matter. The first thing we're going to do is we're making a breakfast here this morning, and I like my bacon super crispy, so I always start out with cutting my bacon into small little strips, and I do that so that it's already all broken up, plus it cooks faster when you do that. So I'm just going to cut up some thick bacon with our 5-inch Santuco knife. Now, if you don't own a good set of knives, I highly recommend that you start out with either the 8-inch chef's knife or the 5-inch Santuco or the 5-inch utility knife, because those are the most commonly used knives in your kitchen. So we are going to, let's see, I think I'll use one of our new teak spoons, and I'm just going to break it up and let it saute a little bit. So you probably don't have to put any oil in it if you're starting with bacon. I'm just such a habit of starting with oil that I dumped a little bit of oil in as well. So cast iron does cook nice and evenly, so that your pan, whether you're cooking on the outside edge or the middle, it should cook, heat up and cook evenly around. The way you clean cast iron, though, is different than how you clean your other pans. You're going to get a scraper, just like our Pampered Chef stoneware scraper, a little brown scraper, or you can just use the soft side of a scrubby brush, and you're going to scrub out any of the burnt-on bits from it. Then you're just going to put it back either on the stove or in the oven, and just let it heat for just a second. So if your oven is still hot, if you're cooking in the oven, just stick it in the oven to just dry out. It's super important that cast iron gets completely dry before you put it away, otherwise it will rust. So you also want to oil your pan when you're done using it, and what I mean by that is you're going to take a little bit of oil, dump it in the pan, take a paper towel, whoosh it around, and that will oil the inside. Then you just wipe it out with a paper towel, but you leave it a little bit oiled. That will create a nice seasoning on your pan, and it'll get more and more non-stick the more you use it. The next tool we're going to be using is called our Simple Slicer. It has 3 settings on it: thin, thicker, and thickest. The most important thing you hear me say today is that you must always use the food guard when you are using this tool. The food guard has pokey prongs on it, so anything that you can stick on here. We're going to do Brussels sprouts, you can do mushrooms, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, you name it. Anything that goes on a Subway sandwich or in a salad can be sliced with this. So you're going to just puncture it onto the prongs. You're going to hold this at an upward angle so that this base piece will actually hit the board, because if you keep it down flat, it'll slide right off, and you don't want that. Then you're just going to get some good speed going, and then once this top piece hits the base, you're going to move your hand from the center piece like this to the top. And then you're just going to go until it goes all the way down. So you're going to get nice even slices. You can dice this when you're done if you want, or you can just go ahead and saute it exactly the way it is. So I'm going to slice up a couple of potatoes, and then I'm going to show you a couple of great tools for cutting an onion and for slicing up your Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to probably use the same tool for my Brussels sprouts. So let's go ahead and finish our potatoes. I have 3 potatoes here. So I'd love to hear from you guys if you're watching this live or a replay. Just say replay or live, and let me know what things you think you might slice with this Simple Slicer. What do you put on your salads that are a pain to do a lot of slicing? Or what do you cook, like scalloped potatoes or something like that, that takes a lot of time? Because prep ahead is really the key to successful, healthy eating. It's the prep time that nobody likes. So if you could have your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner done in seconds, I think it would be a lot easier for a lot of us to go ahead and to eat healthier throughout the week. But if you don't prep, so if you're slicing or cutting, you might want to slice and cut for 2 days worth, so that tomorrow or the next day you don't have to start from scratch again. Or make enough that you can eat it for leftovers if you like leftovers. So I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll cook a whole pound of bacon in the oven on a large bar pan in an oven at about 400 degrees for maybe about 20 minutes. You're going to get a nice crispy bacon, especially if you want bacon strips versus tiny little pieces. You could do that as well. I love cooking the bacon first because you get enough of the grease in the bottom that when I go to cook my potatoes and my onions, they're going to come out fabulous. So I'm going to give you a tip on how to cut an onion. There are a couple different ways that you can cut an onion. You can cut the onion on that simple slicer if you want to make rings. But one of the things that you might want to consider doing is if you cut your onion from the root to the tip. So the root end to the tip end. Let me show you what I mean by that. So see, you can see the little root part on it versus the tip. If you do that, you'll be able to keep the root end together, take the bottom piece off. Okay, so our bacon is done pretty much. So let me just get a container and a paper towel to put this in. I don't want it all the way cooked. So, let's see. I guess I'll use a slotted spatula. So you're going to keep your onion cut and you're going to keep the root part of your onion together. And we're going to slice down the side of our onion just a little bit so that we can get nice little dices out of it, but it won't all fall apart. You know how difficult it is when your onion tends to fall apart when you're slicing it and you're trying to keep it all together with your fingers? I don't know about you, but I am the reluctant chef, so I hated cooking. So any tip that makes cooking easier or fun, I'm all about. All right, so what I mean by that is you're going to take your knife, and remember to always use your loser fingers so you don't lose a finger, and pinch your blade, right? Choke up and pinch your blade right here. And then what you're going to do is, let me peel it first. And don't forget, remember to compost, everybody. Composting is good for the soil. You don't want to throw anything that comes off a vegetable into the trash when you can just compost it and dump it out back and help your soil get really full of nutrients, and it'll help your gardens grow, etc. So you can use just a regular bucket. We compost so much that I actually bought a composting bucket from a local place called Bonify, so give them a little plug. They're downtown Concord. So you're going to take this, and then you're just going to go ahead and slice into, let me get a little bit of skin off here, into your onion, but not all the way to the root. And you want to try to make your slices pretty consistent in size so that your diced pieces are going to be consistent. But what's great about this is you can tell that the whole onion is staying together so that when I turn it sideways, it's not coming apart because it's all held together by the root system. And then you can just go in the opposite direction and dice it. I don't think I need this whole onion, so I think I will stop there and put that together. And we're going to go ahead and put that in here, and I'll turn that back on. So I'm going to do my onions next. Now onions sweat, so they get moist. So you don't want to do your onions when you're doing your garlic, and you don't want to do your onions when you're doing your bacon. I have found that my bacon will not crisp up if I'm doing onions with them. So I always do my bacon first. So you'll notice this pan wasn't even on, it's just still nice and hot. So I'm going to give my onions a nice quick saute first before I add in my my potatoes. Now I can put my potatoes in as slices. I am, however, going to go ahead and dice them up a little bit smaller because I'm hungry and I want them to cook faster. And the more consistent your size is, the better. You may notice that I'm using a polyurethane cutting board. We sell both the small bar board, which I have tons of them up here in my closet. These probably are the most used size. This is the small bar board. They have silicone along the edges, not only with measurements, if you're like my husband and you cut your carrots a certain length when you're doing your stir fry and stuff like that, or if you're trying to measure out dough for something. But the gray on it is also non-stick, so it'll keep it from slipping on your countertop. We also do sell a flexible cutting mat. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but when you get to the end of your potato, your tomato, your apple, whatever you're slicing, and you have just a little bit left, make sure that you turn it so that the flat side is down. Flat side down. That will keep you from the knife rolling off the edge and cutting your fingers. Now, I share all these tips from the reluctant chef here because if it's meant to cut you, if it's meant to cut, it will cut you. So honestly, I've made every mistake in the book. So my goal as a Pampered Chef consultant now is to help those of my customers who hate to cook, learn to cook safely and in a way that will make dinner faster and easier. Or breakfast, or brunch. You can always do dinner for lunch, right? So, cast iron. We have a 10-inch and a 12-inch. This is something that you will find that you will gift down to your family. Many of you may already be using some that your grandparents owned or your great-grandparents. They last forever, and I'm really excited about us having the cast iron because we have property up in the mountains. And I'm going to leave a set of these up there because we do have a large fire pit with a large grate over it. And so this will make a perfect one-pot meal. And that's something that I'll be showing you guys a lot of. I'll probably even go Facebook Live from up at the camp cooking out in the woods so that you can see the versatility of owning cast iron. What's great about it, even though it is a little heavy, which you want, it goes in the oven and it will work really well on an open fire or in the oven as well. So you can bake eggs or frittatas. You can actually put a big pizza dough in here and do like a Chicago-style deep dish pizza. You're going to get a great crust out of that. You could do, I saw some cinnamon buns. You know, you don't have to make them from scratch. You can do your cinnamon buns just from the, Pillsbury Poppin' Fresh. So, Brussels sprouts. So let's talk about Brussels sprouts. A lot of people hate Brussels sprouts. They give them a bad name. If you cook it with bacon, everything tastes great. And anything that is green is good for you. So try to remember that. Add spinach, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, things into your diet because they have all kinds of folic acid. They have anti-inflammatory properties. They also have magnesium in them. For those of you who work out at the gym regularly and you have sore muscles, I've got 2 tips for you. First of all, make sure that if you overwork out at the gym, when you come home, you take a bath in Epsom salts because your body actually absorbs the magnesium of the Epsom salts and it will help your muscles not be so sore afterwards. So like, let's say you're a weekend warrior, right? And you go for these really big 4,000-foot hikes, which that's me. And then you're pretty sedentary during the week because I sit at my computer and I create videos and do Facebook stuff for you all. That's me. You might get sore when you actually get off a mountain and you're done hiking. So I just want you to know that you can add a handful of spinach to your smoothies. We have an amazing kale and fiber packet. It has 2 ingredients, kale and chicory root, and it's called the Enrichables. And it is your meals made better, made healthier. So if you have fussy people in your household that you cannot get healthy food into, Enrichables may be the thing for you. That might be you. You can add it to your smoothies. You can add it to your meals like we're doing here. You can add it to chili or scrambled hamburger or meatballs. They'll never know. Now, if you add it to mashed potatoes, they're going to know because the green of the kale, and it's 2 cups of dehydrated kale, and we're very proud of the fact that that our kale has no extra additives or preservatives. I put too many on here. That one's not going to work. So we wanted to let you know too that we also have a protein powder that you can add, and it has none of the top 8 allergens. So you can use our yellow pea protein, and again, 1 ingredient, yellow peas, yellow beans. So a pea protein is really good for you, and again, I add it to a smoothie. My suggestion for those of you who have children is add it to your pancake mix or add it to your batter when you're making brownies or other sweet treats, because A, you won't be able to tell the flavor difference when you add it to those type of ingredients. Plus, you'll feel better. I mean, Valentine's Day, birthdays, things like that. If you add it into brownie mix, nobody is going to know, and you're going to give them extra protein so that, especially for pancakes, if they're heading out for the day, they're not going to be hungry in an hour after eating that. Maybe you guys are doing Chinese food, or the kids are eating chicken nuggets with the dipping sauce. You can add the kale and fiber to the dipping sauce. No joke, and they'll never know, and you know that they're getting some healthy yumminess to what they're eating. We've even sprinkled it on top of takeout Chinese food before, and nobody's known. So cut your bell pepper from the bottom. Here's a tip for you guys. A lot of you guys cut it around the top. Cut it halfway through and just stick your thumb inside and break it apart. The reason you want to do that is now you can get into where the seeds are with your thumb, and you can just break out. I just don't want the seeds to go flying anywhere. You can just break out the tip, and you'll notice I didn't lose any of the pepper. There's like just a tiny little bit of the pepper, but you can take the whole pepper apart without losing it, unlike when you cut around it. So I'm just going to throw the stems in here. And then we do have a tool called the Quick Slice. I think it is still downstairs in my kit because I actually did a live show the other day. Yes, it is. I still do live shows for those of you who live local and want to actually see and touch and feel the product. You just need to schedule with me. We can get a show in during the week. Have your friends over. We can do wine, cheese, and chocolate, one-pot meals, or any of our new products that are out. So the Quick Slice has serrated blades that would cut this pepper to the same consistent thickness, which will be perfect this summer when you guys are doing veggie trays, or if you're doing a lot of stir fries. Our new stainless steel wok is amazing for stir fries. It has the new non-stick, no PFOAs on it. So because it has no PFOAs, I think our non-stick is one of the only ones that I know on the market that can be used on high heat. You can use it in the dishwasher, like you can literally put your pans in the dishwasher, our non-stick and our stainless. You can use metal utensils in them. Now, I don't recommend that you cut in them, but you know, if your husband or your kids or somebody who doesn't cook a lot uses a metal utensil in it, you're not going to be screaming at them that they're ruining your pans. And our non-stick pans have no rivets on them, so the handles are detachable for easy putting into the fridge, into the oven or into the dishwasher. So the handles will come out nice and cool. So now we're going to use garlic. You want to buy your garlic like you buy men's underwear, whitey-tighty. So you want them to be a tight head of garlic so that it's nice and fresh. You don't need to peel the skin off of your garlic if you're using the Pampered Chef garlic press. I do, however, recommend that the part that is attached to the bottom root, that you do slice that little part off. And why I do that is, and I slice both ends just a little bit. So I'm not going to smell like garlic. I'm not going to have garlic on my hands. But it's going to make it so much easier when I go ahead and I shoot it in through my garlic press. It's just going to make it easier to crush. So all you do is you stick your garlic, as you can see, skin on, in the garlic press. Use 2 hands. Make sure you aim. I have shot garlic on people before. As you can see, it comes flying out. If you have lost your Barbie hairbrush, which is a replacement tool to go with our garlic press, this is the part that will scrape the garlic off of the hopper. It will, if the skin doesn't already come off in the hopper automatically and come right out, which I absolutely love, and you can just flick it into the trash. If that's not the case, you can use the little hook part to scoop it out. And then the last part is when you're ready to clean it and put it in the dishwasher, the hairbrush parts of the garlic press, the garlic cleaner, will clean it out completely so that makes my husband very happy that it's not all stuck with dried on garlic when you go to take it out again. So I personally think you need more than 1 garlic press in your kitchen because we always have 1 or 2 in the dishwasher because we cook with garlic all the time. Garlic is so good for your health, and it's so much different than buying jarred garlic. So fresh garlic has a more potent flavor. The oils that are in the garlic, when you buy jarred garlic, are masked by the type of vinegar that they soak your garlic in. I always tell people who have used jarred garlic in the past that It's the difference between using garlic powder and real garlic. Ginger, powdered ginger versus fresh grated ginger. The flavors are going to be so much more vibrant, and it's really not that hard to use fresh ingredients, fresh herbs, fresh spices. So I recommend that you consider having an extra garlic press. So we're going to go ahead and add these in. The last thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add in a little bit of broccoli. And I just break my broccoli heads up. Now, if you guys are using broccoli for a veggie tray, I highly recommend that you blanch it. And if you don't know what blanching is, let me just explain why you want to do it and how easy it is. I was cooking boiled eggs the other day to put in my salad. And the water was all hot and boiled when I took my eggs out, because I had my eggs steaming in a strainer on the top. I just took a head of broccoli with some tongs, and I dipped them right into the boiling water for 30 seconds, and then I pulled them out and I put them in a bucket of ice water to stop the cooking of the broccoli. And that makes your broccoli vibrantly green, and it actually takes some of the gases out of broccoli when you do that by giving it a quick cook. So it is still just as crunchy in your salad as if you had put it in raw, but it looks and tastes better. So if you've never blanched broccoli, that's my challenge to you this week. And those of you who have blanched broccoli, comment below. I'd love for you to give testimony of how yummy that is. So I got lots of greens in here. We got Brussels sprouts, we got broccoli. Let me just show you what the kale and fiber looks like. Hang on just a sec. So, kale and fiber, pea protein. You can buy these as a one-time purchase, or if you think your family is going to use it a lot, you can buy it as a subscription. And it's so easy to sign up for the subscription, and you can pause the subscription by just pushing a button and say, I don't need any this month. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to sprinkle the kale and fiber in. I probably will sprinkle some protein in. We will be doing eggs, I'm sure, with this as well. But pea protein, oops, I have two pea proteins. I had a kale and fiber in my pea protein. I guess I was doing smoothies last. So a package of protein. We're just going to mix it in together while this is all cooking. And voila. So breakfast will be done shortly. If you have any questions, let me know. I have a secret word during this video, and the secret word is called Enrichables. If you private message me that, Enrichables, you will get 25 bonus points into our party, and you may get a packet of Enrichables in the mail. So make sure that you send me a message. Thanks for watching The Reluctant Chef, and if you haven't joined my VIP customer page, let me know. I'll give you the link to that as well. Have a great day.